Hello friends, how are you doing today? My name is Krutal Patel. My team members are Hardik Golwala, Hardik Patel. Now, our project title is Simulation of Blood Donation Camp in Live Share Blood Bank, which is located at the Beaumont. In our simulation model, there are two types of entities and the three types of resources. The entities are the new donor and the old donor. The resources are the volunteer, nurse, and the blood collector. Here I would like to explain in the deep the entity as well resources both. The new donor is the one who come in the center at the very first time, who never did the blood donation in the past. The old donor is the existing donor who did the blood donation in the past. Now the resources like a volunteer, nurse and the blood collector. The role of the volunteer is to collect the data of the donor like donor's weight, height, blood temperature, blood pressure, the blood group of the donor and everything about the donor. The nurse check the history of the blood donor, health history, and if the health history is good, like there is no disease and no any other things, then the donor goes to the blood collector. The blood collector takes the blood from the donor, and then after some time of rest, the donor leaves the blood center. Here there is the introduction. In every organization, the main aim is to reduce or to minimize the average waiting time in a system. For that, we have to maximize the workforce or we have to maximize the worker. But if we maximize the worker, then the cost for the workers is increases, which is not beneficial for the organization. So in this case, we have to balance both the things like minimize the waiting time as well minimize the worker cost. For that, we have to simulate it. Simulation is only one. With the help of this, we can minimize the waiting time and as well minimize the workers cost with the proper. Now, my friend Hardik Golwala explain it.
Our core project objective is minimize the average waiting time for donor and minimize the workforce which used for donation or blood donation camp. So by minimizing the waiting time of for donors, so donor do not need to wait for a long time, and he get the his service very in few time. So it's in blood donation system. There is three process: registration, health history, and donation. During the registration process, donor come to volunteer, and volunteer asks the donor to treat the material and fill the form for their he is going to donate for his blood and sign the agreement. So after this the registration done, the donor goes to health history department. So, in health history department, nurse record the donor temperature, their donor pressures, donor hemoglobin level, and a series of questions like any disease in past, any travel histories, and in his lifestyles. And after the completion of health history, the donor goes to donation process. During donation process, nurse takes the blood of unit from donor, and after that donation process, donor leave to center. After that, this is a basic flowchart of a blood donation system. During the, as I explained earlier, the blood donor come to center in after enter in the center. donor goes to registration station. The registration station, one volunteer asks him for his information, his name and data, and after that, um, getting information, volunteer check it's is a new donor or old donor. After concluding that is no new donor or old donor, um, registration volunteer tell donor to if he is no old donor. So the old donor directly goes to blood donation process because is old all data already in the system, and if it's new donor, then the new donor have to register from beginning. After the completion of the registration of new donor, the new donor goes to blood donation process. During the blood donation process, uh, both donor have to take do not give the blood to pro, and nurse asks him from some health patients, and after the completion of donation process, donor leave the center. And next part will explained by Hardik Patel.
This is our simulation model. Uh, Let me explain all the module which is used in our system. Okay. So first we use the create module for our customer arrival. So donor arrival in our system. We use the expression exponential 8 for our donor which is comes in our system, and we decide that only one entity is per arrival, and maximum arrivals is like infinity because it's a blood donation camp, so any donor comes for the blood donate. We use the expression exponential 8 by using the input analyzer. Okay, then we decide put a station for the new arrival donor, and then we also put the record module for how many donors arrival per minutes, and after that donor comes in our system, we decide that it's a new donor or the old donor. There are like a 30% is the new donors comes in our system, and so 30 donors comes in the recorded by record module, which is in basic process. This is the record module. Okay, and then we also record the old donor, how many donors comes in the in the systems. After that, if the new donors is then we decide that it's eligible or not eligible, because new donors health history is also checked, and then we decide that if the new donors is in the if they travel outside the region, so they check that it's eligible or not eligible. If they eligible, then it's come to the registration process, and if the donor is not eligible, then it disposed, I mean disposed from the system. So also old donor is also comes in the registration system. We use the routes, same route for the both the old donor and new donor for the registration system. Here is the registration tool for the old donor and new donor, and they register in this system. We use the 1.5 logarithm 209 and 9.957 expression for a donor arriving registration system. We use the uh, um, and then we use the input analyzer for these expressions, and then after registration they come to the health checkup. Okay, and the health checkup we use the 6 variable 1.7 1.68 expression, and we also use the set of two nurses, the nurse one, and for the health checkup. Here is the set of two nurses, you can see that here, nurse resource 2. Okay, Angel and Damon. Okay. After their health registration, they decide that this is the donor is eligible for the blood donation or not. Then they decide that 95% of the donor are eligible for the blood donation, and 5% are is not eligible. So they dispose from the system. The 95% donors come through the blood donation process, and we use there are one set of blood collector. In the one set, there is a three blood collector in for blood. Here you see, yeah, it's the three Sam, Andy, and Maya for the blood collector. After blood completion, we also record the how many donors comes in our system. So we put a record module. After that, the donor is leave from the systems. This is our animation of our model. The donors comes here. The new, if they are old donor, they come there for health checkup. If the new donor, they come for the registration. Then they decide it's eligible or not. Then they come to the health checkup. After the health checkup, the if eligible donor come to the blood donation, and 5% not eligible donor directly leave the systems. So this is the blood donation camp. Our result is like a 67 blood donor in our 8 hours blood donation camp. We use 2 nurses and 3 blood collector for this original system, and this is the total waiting time for donor, and like a 2.45 in average, and transfer time is 7.6269 for average. This is the average waiting time in a different situation, like a blood donation queue, health checkup queue, registration for eligible queue, and registration queue. And this is all the queue. And this is how many donors comes, like 62 exit, eligible donors 14, non-eligible 1, record donor 69, and record new donors 15. In this, let me consider other 3 scenario of different our sources, like 2 nurses and 3. We use in our original model like 2 nurses and 3 blood collector, but let me change the different number of nurses and collector. Let the first case is like a, if we use 3 blood collectors and just 1 nurse for the checkup, we get only 48 donors in donate blood, and donors spend like 17 minutes, every 17 minutes in a health checkup. We get this data from by a process analyzer by using a different scenario. If we use other scenario, like let me check by 1 blood collector and just 2 nurse for the health checker, then we get 46 donors, and average donor spend their time in the health checkup is like 0.56, if we could 0.56 minutes in the health checkup. And the third scenario is, let we consider 1 blood collector and just 1 nurse for the health checkup. So we get only 50 donors, and they spend like 7.827 minutes in health checkup queue. So our original scenario is like that. We use 2 nurses and 3 blood collectors, so we get like a 67 blood donor in 8 hours systems. So this is our average waiting time is also minimum like a 0.716. So this is the best for our system. Let we consider 2 blood donor, 2 blood connector, and 3 blood collector and 2 nurses. So our conclusion is that if we use 2 nurses for checkup and 3 for blood connector, we got 67 blood donor. And we saw like a 67 blood donor, and average health checkup times points, which is based in all 4 categories. So we can say that the significant amount of change show in a new result. So this is our project of simulation model. Thank you.